ちょうどいいところであった。ティリスを探せってさ。
あのテリスか。
そう、あのティリスよ。もちろんこれはあの方の命令だ。お互い従わないわけにはいかないだろ
どうしたのカトマンドゥ。
サニース。
邪魔が入ったな。カトマンドゥ、またな。
今何か変なものがいました？
おはよう、サニ
おはようってずいぶん元気になったのねカトマンドゥ。
そりゃあこの僕が夜通し悪戦苦闘して直したんですから。
ありがとうシェパード。
ス。ティリスが生きた。月の女王が今。
カトマンドゥ、今ティリスと言わなかったか？
ティリスって誰
？500年前にムーンパレスの女王だった人ですよ。
へえ、そんなに昔の。
ムーンパレス。ティリスは生きている。
生きているってまさか500年前の人が？
まさか。でももしかするとムーンパレスでティリス女王の遺品でも発掘されたのかな。だとしたらすごいことだぞ。はあ、歴史学者の血が騒ぐ。補佐役なんかになっていなければすぐにでもムーンパレスに行きたいところですよ。
ムーンパレスね。ちょっと面白そうですね。
ムーンパレス。ティリスは生きている。
あれ、こいつ同じことばっかり。まだ治ってないのかな。
それではムーンパレスに行ってみましょうよ。
So we see the return of Grace from the first Dragon Force, or I think she was called Scythe in the Working Designs translation. And she basically says, oh good, you've awakened Kathmandu just in time. I need you to go and find says Tillice, which is Teiris. And Kathmandu can sense that Teiris is alive. And Sanith and Shepherd kind of can't believe it because they're like, Teiris from 500 years ago? How could she possibly still be alive? So Sanith decides that in order to find things out for herself, she's going to go to Moonpalace because Lenny, the monarch of Moonpalace, is a descendant of Teiris, and also because Teiris is from there. So here I'm trying to convert units, my prisoners of war. And then, because I was talking, I don't know what I was doing. Oh, I found a shield. I think Adelbach found that in the end phase. At the end of every phase, in case I hadn't explained it already, units that have high intelligence, above 70 or above, I think it is, can find items, as well as recruit new generals. So I believe Adelbach found something. And then here I'm just building up, fortifying, I should say. And Agnes usually lets me down with these. Yeah, for some reason she kind of sucks at fortifying, but whatevs. Okay. So now we can see that all of the units that were previously loyal to Adelbach are now part of our units, and I still have this mechanical soldier scroll. I really don't like mechanical soldiers, so I won't be using it for a while, I don't think. Now I'm just bestowing medals. So I give Winston a medal for his horseman, 2 in fact, so now he can have 40. Sanith, I will give her 1 for mages. Barley, I'll give him 1 for mages as well. Plat, I give him one for Battle Elves. Okay, so one kind of not very smooth cut later, we'll go back out to the campaign. Now, I need to start heading towards Moonpalace with Sanith, which is, the capital is up here, the castle of Lezan. Because we're not allied with them, they are our enemies at the moment, but Sanith still insists on going to see Lenny herself. So, at the moment I have a bunch of units all on this, the factory. The reason that suddenly there are multiple units here is because, like Hisaka and Holbeck, they were previously prisoners of war, but then joined my side. And before, when you have prisoners of war, they're sort of carried with your unit, so Sanith was effectively carrying them, and then they were freed. So that's why all these extra units popped up. Now I'm going to supplement my troops, and because I gave people medals, I need to change their maximums again. And then I'll fill up everyone's troops, or as much as I can anyway. This guy is Kasumi, and he's actually a fairly powerful unit. It just sucks that he's so fugly. I tend to post him as far away from the action as possible, just because I really hate to have to look at his portrait. So I'm putting Plat in charge of this castle. This castle is important to keep an eye on because right now it's safe because the game has another one of its not so subtle hints not to go any further. With Orvo, this guy, he's level 20, and 2 more level 20 Dogul guys. Orvo will become a lot more important later on in the story, but again, that's the game's way of saying, you're not supposed to go this way, which is part of the reason that Sanith's campaign is perhaps easier than others, in that you're fairly guided in terms of where to go around Legendra. Because the game doesn't let you go off course from where you're supposed to go in the story. But the reason that I'm making sure I have a few generals in that castle is that once I progress in the story and that the path to the south opens up, I'll need to have some decent units here because, for example, Kaede, the Izumo nation, and Bozak and Highland are all south of there, and that's the one sort of bottleneck up towards my territory. So, and if you leave it unguarded and you're running around with Sanith and all of your main party without leaving anyone powerful behind, it's very easy to suddenly lose your main territory, which is not a big deal. You don't lose if you lose your castle or anything, but it's best to keep as many of your castles as your own as possible. So there's just something to keep in mind. So now I'm gonna occupy this old castle, except that it's domestic phase now. I don't think I participated in any battles at all in that phase just now, so I won't have to do much here. Yeah, I don't have any medals to grant. I can see who my prisoners of war are, just Kanemitsu, and yeah, he just wants me to execute him, so he's a bit too proud to join me. I have a feeling Kanemitsu only joins you once Kaede has joined you, the Izumo monarch, because he has ties with that nation. I just looked at the map and Vandalia only has 3 castles, which is fairly few. They're not really doing much. Okay, so quickly I'll just occupy this castle. I might as well leave Hisaka in there. So I'll just change their destination quickly and then leave again. This is Ring Castle. That's kind of a neat name. Okay, so I'll leave Hisaka in charge of this castle. She won't be able to do much if it does get attacked, for example, from the east. Is that east? Right, yeah, east. But just as a notional extra unit. I can always dash up there with Karen or Chris if need be. Which can happen a lot in Dragon Force actually. Suddenly you realize you've left a castle hideously under-defended, and you just see someone's little sprite approaching. You're like, oh no, and have to run over and send reinforcements. So Lenny doesn't want to have to fight us, she'd rather talk, but it seems like Clift, who is her advisor, her aide, like Sheffard is to Sanith, insists that Lenny fights back. And I believe this is the first Beastman we fought. So I think this is the first time that we've seen the Beastmen units. So I'm going to be using Barley again to try to whittle down his troops. In the meantime, I'll tell you his biography as soon as I find it. The Beastman's name is Vigo. So, Vigo... We get to see one of his skills as well here. Here we go. Oh, this is his skill. I think that skill is called Gaia Break, I'm not sure. Anyway, Vigo's biography is he is a beast warrior, his element is Earth, his starting level is 5, he's 22, male, he's a beast man, and is native to Bozak. And he's the playmate of Anvi, who's one of the Bozak starting generals. He didn't like the closed nature of Bozak, the way it's closed off from the world, so he set out on a journey, which is perhaps why we find him here in Moonpalace. And now I'm sending Winston against Motochika. So, Motochika. Oh, by the way, if it takes me a little while to read through the biographies, it's not because I'm really bad at reading or something, it's just because I'm having to translate it as I go. So the biography parts can take me a little second to translate. Okay, Motochika. Motochika is a samurai. His element is water. He's a level 5. He's 59. Whoa, he doesn't look 59. He's male, he's human, and he was born in Izumo. He has been an enemy of Kansuke, who I assume is another character, since previous generations, and so he sides with Kikyo. Kikyo is one of the other samurai characters. From memory, I think she's one of the first characters you fight if you play Kaede, the Izumo campaign. So yeah, he has pledged his allegiance to her.